The Chicago Sky have their second home game today when they face off against the Seattle Storm. Can the Sky fare better than what they did in their initial home opening game? Let's hope they can get the dub. Me and Steve are going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. Stevo and Haize, we in the building today. Stevo, what's your confidence level coming into this game, brother?
It's pretty high. Of course, it's not an easy game. It's another tough game. You're going against a lot of vets. But the thing that they got on our side is the same thing we got on our side. They still trying to get used to each other, just like we still trying to get used to each other. Now, in the last few battles, the last two games they've been having, they have been starting to find their little groove yet. But still, I still find if we're a better defensive team, our guard play is a little bit better. I mean, of course, they got Lloyd and they got Diggins over there. But when it comes to penetrating the paint, and if we just stay disciplined, playing the course sound defense that we normally play, stay disciplined, and rebound, most importantly, I think we can win this game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, this is a game where the Storm 500, just like we are, even though they're 3-3, we're 2-2. NECA is just absolutely killing it. She's leading the team in points, rebounds, and steals so far on this young part of the season. They're still trying to figure out the balance with having Skylar Diggins there and things like that. But overall, this is still a very talented team. They're stacked from top to bottom. They spread the ball out a lot. You look at Jewel Lloyd as well, averaging almost 20 points per game. She's another one that can fill it up. The Sky's defense is going to have to be prepared and ready to go today, because if they're not, it can get ugly real quick now. But the Sky's defense has been the thing that we can trust and things like that. So I'm not too worried about their defense being able to step up, but I am worried if the offense is going to be able to perform consistently enough, hit enough shots to be able to keep up with this the Seattle Storm team, because this is a team that if they get rocking and rolling offensively, it can get ugly real quick. And, but that's where you got to trust the defense. And I hope that what the Sky are learning from going through these growing pains to start the season are things that they're going to rest on and rely on in this game. But you got to look at it. Just like the Sky are up there defensively, the Seattle Storm are the second best defense per points allowed per game so far this season, I believe. Another one of the top rebounding teams. So it's going to be a battle. And so we're gonna have to be able to compete, score points where we need to score. And this is going to be a fun game to watch, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because we're gonna have to battle in the boards. They second in rebounds when it comes to the whole league, and ninth in points, 11th in assists. So, like I said, it's a tough task. They got a hell of a score over there, Drew Lloyd, who can get off and give you 30 before you can blink. So, our defense is definitely gonna have to be on that. The guards got to realize they cannot play the way they played last time. That's all four of them. Like, you cannot, including Diamond this year, you cannot come in and play lackadaisical on the offensive side. And most importantly, you got to be on that when it comes to defense. You cannot allow Drew Lloyd to get on her spurs where she's scoring 12 plus and nobody's stopping her. Because once she starts, she's hard to stop. And then you got NECA coming in behind her. Then you got Skylar, who's probably the last one to get into drive. Like, you got a lot of people you got to worry about on this team. Like, not only that, you got Nika, you got Mercedes Russell, who got some size on her. Like, you got a lot of people you got to look out for. So it's gonna be a long night, but if we endure it, I think we can come out with that W for sure.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Bulls Daily continues to be that hood ass cousin that you love because he always shows up for you. But you got to watch where you take him sometimes, man. Shout out to Bulls Daily in the building.
Yeah.
But the Sky, and the thing is Coach Spoon's gonna have this team ready, and it just comes down to the execution. I will say this: in the last game down the stretch, I went back and watched that game. The offense became discombobulated, but there are times in that game where we were this well-oiled machine offensively, and because our defense is so good, that's when the Sky really get out rocking and rolling. So you got to be locked in offensively for this team. They cannot allow the defense of the Seattle Storm to throw them off their game. The Storm, I had to correct myself. The Storm are the fourth best defense per points allowed. We're the fifth, only a point separator. So this could definitely be one of those games that can get ugly. And it can come down to who makes the right defensive stops, who gets the key rebounds, who can make the right blocks at the right times, things like that.
Yep.
But to get into that point to where your defense can win you this game, which it can, your offense still has to be respectable. And I think that this guy can do that for sure.
Most definitely. And now, like, it's listed that Izzy and Diamond's listed as probable. That's most definitely what we needed today. Hopefully she is full ride to go because we need the offense. Like you said, during those times when I watched back and watched those games, I was just sitting here like, dang, we could use Izzy so bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing, like, especially with this team, like we're relying on our guards to get most of our points. And for the bigs that we do have on the roster, like we should be getting way more out of them than just defensive rebounding. And that's including E-Dub. She should get more touches. But yeah, I just think that we've been relying on our guards just to score way too much, whether it's Lindsay Allen, whether it's Kennedy, whether it's Dana, and it's most definitely gonna be Marina because she's the lead, she's our star. But I just think there's too many times that we could be leading on to our forwards and our wings more. And with Izzy possibly going back and Diamond coming back in this game as well, this is the time for them to show up against a team like this.
Especially like you said, Izzy can make such a difference on both sides of the ball for this team. Her rebounding, her rim protection at times, her ability to stretch the floor out a little bit, especially in that mid-range, that 10 to 15 footer, could really make a big difference for the team, especially as the game gets close and things like that. Being able to have her run some pick and rolls with Dana, with Kennedy, can play off really big for this team. And then you also want to Diamond has to get going. We are so much of a better team offensively when Diamond is in rhythm. Diamond and Kennedy, because Marina is kind of always steady, right? You know what you're going to bring with Marina. She's going to have some times where her shot isn't falling, things like that, but she does other things when that's not the case. But Kennedy and Diamond are so important to the offensive pacing of this team because they push the pace for this team. They get out in transition. They attack the rim and get other players in foul trouble. We need those ladies going for us to really be locked in offensively in this game for sure.
Yeah, you got to, like, especially Diamond. Diamond is probably the only one that's I could say is extremely struggling to find her rhythm in the offensive game. Shot is completely off. I mean, she can get to the lane, like that's not. She's one of the most athletic players in the league, so getting to the lane isn't a problem. But we do, and we seen it, especially when she was in the Sky previous times. She has the ability to knock down shots, whether it's threes or mid-range shots. And I don't know if the recovery has messed it up because I don't know if it to you, but it looked like she changed the shot just a little bit. Like it looks better in my opinion. I think she's still getting used to it, but she got to get going. She got to get going, and sometimes. I wanted to realize, like, sometimes those first two shots, she got to realize, like, okay, my shot not going down, but nobody's stopping me off the dribble. And going to the lane with confidence. And she got to get to the line way more. That's one thing I want her to do. Out of everybody on this team, it shouldn't be Angel. That's the one that's leading and getting fouls. It should be her. So if she can work on that, getting to the line, that can do wonders for this team offensively, especially when we're stagnant. Because that's the best way to bring our offensive team back when they're stagnant is to slow the pace down, get fouls, get to the lane so it can open up for shots.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go through their offenses sometimes where things start getting tough for the Sky and they don't run offense. Like it just becomes about whoever's gonna drive to lane, put their head down and take a big shot. Like we gotta trust ourselves a little bit more to run some actual offense. That's something I know is going to come as the season goes on and these ladies learn each other more. But we got to get to that point right now. When you look at the Sky, they're not shooting overall bad, like from the field as a team, even from 3-point. We're 36% on 3-pointers on the season. Not terrible at all. We don't take a whole hell of a lot of them, right? That which is the thing there. But we got to get a little bit tougher on that aspect of the game if we can. It can get better for the Sky. And I think, Diamond's going to help that if she stays healthy. Kennedy's going to help that for sure if she stays healthy as well. And that's where, where the Sky were definitely hoping that Brenda Maxwell, had she been healthy, she would have been on this team. She would have definitely been helping with the 3-point attempts and 3-point shooting percentage as well. But the Sky sit kind of right at the lower half mark of the NBA as far as 3-point shooting percentage, which, considering how much we worried about that being an Achilles heel for the Sky, I think they're doing a pretty solid job at, man.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty solid job, and I didn't really expect us. And that's a sign of a mark of how good of a coach Teaspoon is. She already knew y'all not going to come here shooting amount of threes, something the Bulls didn't even realize they needed to do. Oh, we're going to shoot 33s, even though we ain't got shooters like that. But she realized what type of team she has. She realized she got people that has the ability to make shots, but that's not going to be the main focus of our offense. So and they realized the impact that Breno was going to need. That's why they scouted her so much. They knew coming in with the roster that was already constructed, they didn't have guaranteed knockdown threes. We ain't had once as quickly. So they realized and they know it's a need there, and that's why I really do believe that we're gonna bring them back before y'all even realize it. Next thing you know, you're gonna get us a report from us saying Brandon's back on the team, because I just feel like they really sought out for her, and they're gonna do that in the next draft. They're gonna do that in the offseason for free agency. They're gonna address the elephant in the room for this team, and that's just making threes right now.
Yeah, I mean, 3-point shooting can help this team so much as far as just some solid 3-point shooting. And the fact that, they did waive Brenna, but then have turned around and not played Kaiser at all. I get it that they didn't want to go into the season having 3 players out with injury, but it's like, you guys ain't played Kaiser at all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Kaiser should have put Kaiser's, like I said before, she's okay. She's not a good WNBA prospect anymore. I think people just got to realize that, and that's fine. But she's a back end of the bench player. But at some point, the Sky need a little bit more than that. We need shooting big time. So
yeah, and the difference. Another thing is she's undersized. So
yeah,
like if she was more feisty on defense, I think they may put her out there. But if she's going to be on this court, like I said previously, they have to know that it's a guarantee she's going to come down and knock down shots. Because she could play the Lexi Brown role, but the difference is Lexi Brown, one, she has the height compared to her. Two, she realized she had to improve on one, her handle, two, her strength. Three, she had to come in and knock down shots and try on defense, because that's the only way she's going to make teams.
yeah, that's it. And but not to harp on that. Some of the players that kind of I need to see play better, especially in a game like this that we're going to need. Michaela has been attacking, and so I have no slight on her. She's been attacking. That's what you want to see her do. She's been attacking. But the thing that with Michaela that stood out to me, the difference in preseason and even I think the first game till now, is that it seems like her confidence is starting to be shaken, and we don't need that. Michaela is not. You're not out there just for your scoring. You're out there for energy. You're out there for some of your rebounding, some of your passing. But I need Michaela to not allow the confidence part of her to be shaken, and then she kind of steps back and kind of just starts disappearing a little bit on the court on both sides of the ball. When you see her confidence is starting to get shaken, we need Michaela to be playing well. And of course, having Diamond Shields more healthy, having Isabel Harrison, if she's able to play minutes today, and having players out there that can take off that scoring load, now you're not looked at to need that scoring as much. But the attacking that she does when she does it is important, because it helps get other players open, and that's what we need to see from Michaela as well. McKenna and Lindsay Allen, I need to see a little bit better from them on both sides of the ball. They've been doing the things that come natural to them a little bit, but I need a little bit better from them, especially in a game like this.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so important that we're possibly getting Izzy this diamond back, because I think that's what happened. I don't necessarily agree that her confidence is shaking. I think that she was asked to do more than she's been asked to do when she came in, because when Kennedy and Diamond went out, she had to be that attacker. And she was attacking, the shots weren't falling. I was just like, man, if she just works on it a little bit more, she can really be a threat. But I just think that's why it's important to make sure we getting our players back healthy, because you don't want to put people out of in a situation they're not ready for. Like I don't need Michaela to be out there feel like she got to go to the hole doing spin layups. Like that's not your game at this point. Now you could do that when you in the rhythm and of everything, and when everybody's in goal. But she was basically playing the diamond role, and she's not diamond.
Yeah, and you need everybody to play towards their strengths and what they do well, and that's the thing with the depth of this team. We don't really need anybody to play outside of what they do well until, like you said, they get in rhythm. You get in rhythm, you cooking, I love the fact that we aren't afraid to ride the hot hand. Even Marina Mabrey
Right.
being the leading scorer in this, you see her to defer to players like Diamond and others once they get rolling and rocking, and that's good. But we just need everybody to play towards their roles. And this team is built in such a way that everything that people bring naturally to the table is exactly what we need to them. We don't really need players to play outside the role, even with the lack of shooting at times, even with Diamond, not being able to play at times, or Kennedy being fouled out. Typically, we just need them to do what they do well and go through that. And so, that's what we need to see continue. And if that happens, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Like I said, this is a game where defensively, both teams being as sound as they are defensively, these are the type of games that really, I think, tells a lot about where execution matters the most, where kind of the intricacies matters the most. And this is a game where, not just because of the name value, but I think the intangibles that Angel Reese brings to the game, it's going to be really, really nice in a game like this.
And I need somebody to give Miss Kennedy Carter an edible, because I need her to calm down. You just like, as you know, I give somebody the name Crash Bandicoot to everybody in all of our sports. She's officially being the new Crash Bandicoot because she just don't stop. It is very important that you do not get into foul trouble to that young lady. I need you to take a couple breaths, focus on that energy, and make sure you put it into the right places. We don't need you playing the passes lane that aggressively like you was last game. We don't need you out there bumping and fighting with especially with a respective team like that, because that's gonna get every call. You going up against Skylar Diggins, they gonna get their calls. So you gotta play smart.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Just get it to 100 milligram. We don't want her out there J.R. Smith, though. Just 100 milligram.
Not the J.R. Smith. Skylar Diggins so far, and I know we focus on talking about our team, the Sky. How have you felt about the season for Skylar Diggins so far? Only 6 games into her new team, things like that. But, I know they're still filling each other out. Her and NECA, they're going to figure out their balance, and having Jewel Lloyd there as a high volume guard as well. But Skylar, to me, seems like a player that either she realizes offense isn't the biggest going to be the biggest thing for her at this point in her career. She's distributing the ball really well. She's playing really good defense, but I don't know. Skylar just seems offensively like not kind of the impact that I'm used to seeing from Skylar.
Because Skylar keep going to places that got guards that can score better than her.
Yeah.
And she's not that scorer no more. She needs to focus on becoming that playmaker that we all know she can be. And if she just focus on that and let the shots come to her, especially with who you got in front of you, got NECA and Jewel Lloyd, they always going to come first when it comes to the scoring mindset of that team. Mm-hmm. So you got to come in realizing, like, you're not going to be that player. Now, at first, before NECA made the decision, when she was the last person to make the decision or the trade, I forget what it was, to go to Seattle, then I could see where your thought process was. But once you realize NECA was going there, you have to rethink your whole process there. So, plus but to give her some grace, she ain't played basketball in a year.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
So she's completely out of rhythm. She's probably still struggling to get back to basketball straight. She not in the rhythm. Rhythm is a real key thing when it comes to sport and chemistry. So everything that you need as a basketball player outside of athleticism and just being able to play, it's completely rewired right now. She just got to find a way to get it back. But it's the beginning of the season, 6 games in. We'll see what it look like after the first break of the season.
You got to watch it. But she's shooting right now 34% from the field, which is the lowest since her rookie year, and 16% from 3-point range, which is the lowest of her career as well. Skylar, don't let Skylar get going tonight against us, is all I'm saying. Right. Come on.
This ain't the day.
This ain't the day for your tune-up game. You stay shooting those percentages. So, yeah.
For sure.
But what else you looking for in this game, Stevo?
You know what's crazy? Like, outside of the Sky, like I'm interested of how they're going to use the Seattle team. Just the Seattle team is a weird team to me. Like, they have the talent. They one of those. They's one of those teams that they look good on paper, but you just trying to figure out how they gonna form it around and make it polished and make it look good. Because right now, I just see a lot of talent, but I don't see a team yet. And that's why I kind of have the edge with us tonight, because I feel like we're more of a team, even though we haven't been together the most. We feel like, and the way we're coaching, we look like more of the team right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like we execute like the chemistry. What are chemistry, defense, execution? Those are the things that you're looking for in depth from this team, and so we're bringing those things. And
Yeah, this is a home game.
Yeah, we're home for the next 2 games, mediocre self. The next 2 games, we had a 3-game home stretch. The last game was the first one of that one.
Yep.
But this team is still ahead of schedule. It's much ahead of schedule for a new team, new coach. We're ahead of schedule, and I love the way that we're playing because of that. But we gotta start racking up these wins. And this is the type of game, especially against another 500 team, that I really want to see the Sky come in and really own this game. It's going to be tough. By own the game, I don't mean that they're going to blow them out the water or anything like that. I'm not too worried. No. I don't care about that part. I care that you come in, you execute, you get a dub. And those are the things. This is one of those games you really got to look at the execution part of it. The Sky got to be ready to go, because I tell you what, this Seattle Storm team is not taking it easy on you for sure.
They're not, and they looking like they get better every game. They just like us. If you watch them, they improve on everything they need to prove on every game. So you can't take this team lightly at all.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't. But yeah, let's hope we get this dub. The channel will be live. C-Dub will be doing a live call during the game, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in for that to get that live analysis and breakdown from C-Dub. He's one of the best live callers in the game. Steve will be there with him. I'll probably pop in here and there as well. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here?
I want you to. I like this question. I wanted you to see if you was gonna answer that.
What is your favorite sky to rock with outside the Sky? You guys know I'm such a homer. I'm not one of those people who have like a secondary team ever. I will say that I do love playing, watching the New York Liberty play. That just goes to Stewie and Ionescu. I love watching those ladies play. But I think one of the teams I've caught 2 games so far this season. The Minnesota Lynx may be a team that I watch a lot of their games.
I was gonna give you 3. I've been watching Minnesota, been watching a lot of Dallas, and I've been watching Atlanta. And I've just been watching Atlanta for a couple past years because I like Ryan. And they got our former center, who I'm a fan of. So those are my 3 teams that I watch outside the Sky for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then listen, it's a 12-team league. Watch, you're gonna see everybody. Watch a little everybody. Right. Honestly, like if you're if you're a new WNBA fan, and I can't stress this enough, like the WNBA is so competitive. Unless you're the Washington Mystics, apparently this season, I haven't seen one of their games yet, but apparently it's been bad. Like if there's a random game on Saturday at 3 p.m. and you're not doing nothing, watch the game, no matter who's playing. I guarantee you're probably gonna walk away from it enjoying it too. So
yeah.
Brandon says Copper's looking good in Phoenix. Listen, I have not been able to watch a Phoenix game because I still have to get over the heartbreak of Kalia not being here.
I can't watch it. It's funny you say that because I was seeing a highlight of it and I just clicked. I can't watch her. She don't look right. She just don't look right in that jersey. I can't. Just like how it took me a minute for not in that school. Corley Vandersloot. She don't look right in that damn teal.
Yeah,
she just don't.
Yeah, it's listen, don't get me wrong. I do think they made the right decision. They weren't going to be able to build a team around Kalia that probably was going to compete after you gave her the max level contract. I understand all that, but it's still something about it to where it's difficult for me to watch Ka in a different jersey. Like just seeing pictures of her being in a different jersey still gives me a little bit of PTSD.
You know what it was? It was the whole press conference with T-Spoon. I was saying, like, how you gonna sit here and play in my face like that? Sit here and get me hype for bro. Kai was gonna be a monster. I mean, she's already a monster.
Yeah, but
you was gonna see that like 2-way come out of her that I think was in her. Like she already was a solid defender, but I felt like she could have been an elite defender, and T-Spoon was gonna take that out of her. So,
yeah.
And like
what she thing and all that is that she's on the same team with who's the chick that she hates, Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham.
I would have loved to be in that first practice just to see how that went.
Ric Flair.
That
don't even look right.
Junior,
you with Ric Flair and Taurasi. It's just too many damn attitudes in one locker room.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. But we'll be back here. Like I said, C-Dub will be live during the game with Stevo, so y'all make sure y'all tuned in for them there. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back post game as well. You guys will see us a lot of times here, man. We love you guys. Go Sky. Let's get this dub. Let's hope that the Sky can continue these winning ways, y'all. Peace.